he picks it up good, and he picks up whoever they bring in has a passion for announcing the fights, and you know, if it doesn't, then yeah, it's gonna suck, you know.
I mean, it's too bad. I mean, you have like Joe Rogan's like the color commentator, so because I mean there's so many people I think who fill that role pretty easily. Like Randy Couture, I think would be a very good color commentator that could just talk about what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. It's a because like I said, you don't have, like with wrestling, you have different other areas you could look at for places, like Ronaldo from when he did it with New Japan.
Well,
they picked him to go to WWE.
Yeah.
He pretty much replaced Jim Ross.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. They kind of switched. Jim Ross went over to New Japan, doing their their commentary, and now Morano's now. Well,
I mean, before he wasn't in New Japan, Morano was announced like so many different things. He announced Pride originally.
Yeah.
He was after what's it called? Stephen Quadros left.
Yeah.
And he's not a bad commentator at all, man.
No, I like his commentary because he doesn't call the moves by like what the wrestlers call them.
Yeah.
He's not like that's a lion, or he doesn't sometimes. Like he won't call like the lion tamer. He'll call like what the actual name of the move is.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it really is, not
Yeah, there's some like hardcore fanboys probably bitching about that.
Oh yeah, there's people that hate him.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, guys? Take the dick out of your ass.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who they choose.
No, I like Morello because like, even though when he started with Pride, you can kind of tell like he was in some sense new to calling fighting and stuff like that, but he took his time. You could tell like the man like cared about it, and he took his time to learn the craft and understand what he was calling and shit like that.
Well, the best thing they did was they paired him up with Boss.
Yeah.
That was the best thing they ever did.
Yeah, exactly.
They paired him up with Boss, and Boss, I think, helped him a lot.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about it and stuff.
Well, no, I mean, but even like that, like you could tell like outside of that though, that's not outside of the pairing that he took an actual interest and tried to take an actual understanding. You could just tell like watching the all the broadcast stuff like that when he'd ask boss questions.
Yeah.
Like when it wasn't even like I'm asking questions to show like I'm interacting. I'm asking questions because I'm even interested.
Yeah.
Hey boss, what's going on here? Yeah. What could he be doing better? What what should he be avoiding from here? Shit like that, Like, hey, I'm gonna pick your brain because I don't know what I'm looking at. So
and you do.
You do. So help me out here,
Help.
And then, or like other times, like, oh, boss, he's going for what I believe. What does that look like? A Kimura? I'm just throwing random shit out. But he would say shit like that. Yeah. Looks like he's just trying to keep the pressure on. Am I right? Or it looks like he's trying to stay more on the outside. It looks like he's trying to go. He's trying to look for a Kimura lockup. I said it right? It's Kimura, right?
Get the thumbs up.
Yeah. You could tell he probably like went home and like fucking read books and tried to study up on shit and looked at old fights and stuff. So he probably there's no probably he did the same thing with wrestling. I'm gonna look up names for moves and shit and what's it called?
Study tapes.
Study tapes and shit. The only thing is, what's his name? Joey Styles. He was talking about like for WWF, it's a little bit different of announcing style though. They don't want you calling the match per se. They want you storytelling.
Yeah.
So.
And you have someone in your ear like
yelling at you and telling what to say and shit.
See, that would piss me off.
Which I mean, like, I'm surprised that, like, cause I don't watch WWF anymore or my bad, whatever. But no, I'm surprised that you're telling me he's like actually calling the moves by their actual names. Yeah. That's because like that means, unless if they changed up they changed up the format, their old format just for him, and let's let him fucking talk.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is because he's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And he does the SmackDown commentary, and he also does what they call the 205, which is like the cruiserweight commentary. And so like SmackDown is more of like a I like SmackDown over Raw because it's 2 hours streamlined.
Yeah.
You get like 4 or 5 matches in, and they're legitimately longer matches, and like like the commentary's better. It's just a better overall show. But I think a lot of it is because it's on SmackDown, not as many people watch it than Raw.
Yeah.
Kind of just like, okay, we'll let him do what he's used to, and or maybe they're just like trying to get him accustomed to how to call it in our side.
Yeah, but no, I was gonna say like honestly, because it didn't really matter if it was SmackDown. They've done their commentary like that forever.
Yeah,
they've always had guys in their ears.
No, there's someone in his ear. You can tell.
Yeah,
because I mean, there's times like where he'll keep calling the match and then he'll go off on a
little rant.
Yeah, like a little okay, blah 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 blah. Like something that doesn't totally go along with the match, but overall, I like his commentary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really hate. The people that crack me up are the people that like despise Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think Cole's great, but he's not horrible.
No, I don't ever. I mean, Cole's alright. I mean, like, was he like a strong, colorful, out there personality? No.
You gotta look who he had to fucking follow.
Yeah.
You mean to follow Jim Ross as a commentator? That's asking a lot for anyone.
Yeah.
You're asking like one of the greats of all time.
What's it called? On top of that, though, it's not even so. I liked Cole because he was just a good straight man.
Yeah.
It was kind of a night that might, because like even Jim Ross, even though he wasn't goofy by any means, he was never goofy.
Yeah.
Like he had that, and he was typically a straight man too.
Mm-hmm.
But just because the way Ross carried himself, his voice, and all that stuff like that, he had color in his personality, honestly. Mm-hmm. And Cole was just like, this is literally just a straight,
yep.
white collar looking motherfucker.
Yeah. No, like Jim Ross brings like emotion to a match.
Yeah.
Like, my God, he's broken in half.
But what's it called? Like, what I mean by color is like, when you looked at Jim Ross. Honestly, the stereotype wrestling fan that you looked at was Jim Ross.
Yep, that's
some good old boy with a fucking country ass accent and shit. When you looked at Michael Cole, you didn't expect him to be a wrestling announcer.
Yeah.
He looked like somebody that would sell you something at fucking Best Buy or some shit. Yeah, or some exactly. I'm a claims representative, and
you look like you need some more insurance busts.
Yeah.
Sit down, let me help you.
Yeah, and like that's what I mean by straight man.
Yeah.
He just there was what's it called like, and I like that honestly. It was like good balance. Mm-hmm. Even that team where like honestly like Taz was
Yeah.
I think where they started fucking on Michael Cole is when they started trying to bring that flair into him, making him a character. And trying to make him a character. And then it was like, dude, now you're ruining Michael Cole, man.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like. That's why I don't...
Let the announcers be announcers, and that's it. They don't need to get involved.
Yeah, like when they had him...
They're involved enough. They're announcers, Yeah.
When they had him fucking wrestle Jerry Lawler at fucking WrestleMania, it's like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Right?
Just let him fucking be the announcer. Let him be, like, neutral.
Yeah.
Or, not even neutral. Sometimes, he should be playing both sides in a sense. He should be, like, cheering on the good guy and should be... healing up the bad guy to make it like, oh, I hate that fucking bad guy. I want to...
Well, what's it called? It's not even so much that. It's like, because, I mean, Ross got involved, too, every now and then. But, like, unless if they're, like, former wrestlers, like, they don't need to be getting involved in wrestling, you know? Every now and then, like, for, what's it called? For the heel to get more heat, go up, beat up on the announcer, whatever, But, like, outside of that, they don't need to pick up their own color personality. They don't need to be involved in a storyline like that and shit. Like, let's let them be, man. They're announcers. Keep them just as announcers. That's the shit. And then, like, when you got a guy like I said, like Michael Cole, and they're trying to make him, they're trying to make him hip. That's the best word I can use it. It wasn't even so much they were trying to make him heel they were just trying to make him hip. They even, like, changed up his look and shit like that, too. Trying to give him, like, frosting his fucking hair and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this asshole? This looks like the middle-aged man having a midlife crisis. Chill the fuck out. Just leave him alone. He's an announcer. That's what I mean by that, man. This, shit. Michael Morello, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I like Michael Morello as Michael Morello. Hopefully it is, leave him alone when it's that, and they don't try to fucking switch him up too dramatically. I think that's why I kind of got out of, WWE wrestling and shit like that.
Well, I think that's helping with, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, Triple H being more involved in the background now. I think he is getting into Vince's ear saying, let's not go this route. Let's do it this way. Let's go a little bit more old school like we used to, And I think that's helping a lot. I mean, that's why you see a lot of, like, the independent wrestlers coming in now.
Yeah. No, because that was just, I mean, exactly. Because that was, like, one of the things that kind of drew me off later on. It was like which I understand it. I mean, it's a business. They got to make money, and they're going to make money by bringing in new spectators and shit. Yeah. But sometimes it was like, it got to a point where it was like getting too much to be a headache, because sometimes they would draw too much into trying to catch the attention of the pop audience. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, I don't even want to watch it no more. You know?
And they do that a lot more now. Like now, it's more towards like WrestleMania season. Yeah. When that starts happening, you'll start seeing like the more like let's broaden our audience a little bit more. Yeah. But like when it's after that, because they used to have like this horrible fucking thing where they had like a guest GM manager, and it'll always be like some like pop person or like some like B-list actor or something. Yeah. Like it's just all shit. And now it's more they're getting back to the basics, especially like on SmackDown, where it's like it's wrestling based. Yeah. You still have your stupid some storylines, but now they've actually gotten better with that, even where it's like it's not like it's more like I hate you, you hate me. Let's go settle in the ring. Yeah. Not like, well, you fucked my sister.
Or you have a belt. I want that belt. Yeah, let's go take it in the ring.
Because like that's what they're doing with like this Royal Rumble. It's gonna be John Cena versus AJ Styles. Yeah. And it's because John Cena just came back. He's been injured. He's doing TV shit, and like he came back and said, "I want the belt. Yeah. You have the belt. I want it. Let's go WrestleMania. Or let's go.
I'm taking my belt. Ah!
Yeah. And they're like, okay, let's do it. I've beaten your ass a couple times. Beat your ass again.
Let's do it, and then we can wrestle in the ring. Yeah. Oh, gay joke. No, because I mean, like that. That's what I like. Always liked about wrestling. I like watching the actual work of wrestling. I really don't get too much involved in story. I never had.
Keep it basic.
Yeah.
Really, storyline should be very basic storyline. You have what I want. I'm gonna come get it.
Right. Done with. Yeah. If there's any filler, it's like I'm gonna do things to prevent you from getting my belt.
If I'm the bad guy, I'm gonna do anything I can to keep you from getting what I have. Yeah. If you're a good guy, nothing should be able to stop you from getting what I have.
What's it called? Like, because I mean, storylines for the most part since they went on TV has always been a part of wrestling anyway. Yeah. The best way I can describe it, where like I started losing interest. They draw out the fucking storyline way too long, and to me, and what's it called? Like the basic format, from my understanding, was always be the climax, the fucking exclamation point was the match. That's the basic. That was the end all. Okay, this event happened. This event happened. Now we're gonna, it's gonna be settled once and all in the ring. That's the big drama point. That's the climax. That's the excitement point. And then it got to the point where it was like, okay, they drew it out for so long, and so much other shit happened outside of the ring. I get to the point where it's like I don't even care about the match anymore. Yeah, let's just get this shit over with. Yeah, and they put all this emphasis on the fucking on the storyline and all the draw and the heat and stuff like that. The match was mediocre, and it just sucked. Yeah, because they put all more energy into like fucking trying to get me excited for this match than the actual match. And when the match came through, it was like this was sucky. What the fuck is this garbage? You know?
Yeah.